Hello, sup guys. This this is Gautam, and in this video we shall look into what are functions and some hopefully interesting functions in Python. All right. So let us start with what is a function. A function is nothing but a named group of statements written for a specific task. Okay, I'm repeating it. A function is nothing but a named group of statements written for a specific task. Now, these functions can be classified or segregated into two types, basing on their origin, that too without being a racist. Alright, so the classifications are like one called as built-in functions, which are nothing but the functions that we get with the package itself. Alright, and the other part is nothing but, you must have guessed already, the user-defined functions. Okay, these are the functions that we write for our purposes, for our programs, for our requirements. All right. Yes. So now let us look into why do we require functions in the first place. They provide a great advantages actually. Mainly of them are one, reusability. You just got to define a function once and you can use it multiple times when and wherever you require it. And now, maintainability. This is again associated with reusability itself in a way that since you are defining it at only one place, in future if you want to do any modification to your functions, to your code logic, then even that logic has to be implemented at just one place where you have defined your functions. Right, so you do the modification there, it is applied wherever you call that function by its name. Now the third advantage is readability. This is again the product of reusability itself. Since you are defining it at only one place, you are separating a group of lines of code that does a specific task, separating them and placing them elsewhere, giving it a name, which means the logic of your code will be associated with the name of your function, in turn producing readability of your code. All right, now let us look into some built-in functions that we have in Python. As I have mentioned in the video that I've made exclusively for the most useful functions that we have in Python, the directory and help functions, we shall use them and explore about these functions. All right, so let's go to the interpreter. Now I want to find out what are the built-in functions I have as soon as I load my Python interpreter. Okay, so last time also we have seen this. Now specifically we want the built-in functions, right? We have a name with that. So now what we shall do is dir of double underscore built-ins. Now this should return me all the built-in functions available on my Python installation. Wow, yes, we got it. You see, we have used the print function earlier, we have used the input function earlier, id function earlier, we have used the type function. Yes, it is here. Right, since we have seen all these functions, this time around we'll look into some more hopefully interesting functions. So the first one we have is an abs function, which does nothing but return the absolute value of the number that you give to it. Abs of minus 3.4, what is it? Abs absolute is nothing but irrespective of the sign, 3.4. Right, now we have one more function called as length function. So this function, what this does is you give it, you give it this function a collection of data. It will return you the length of the collection. For example, now Python is a string that I am giving to this length function, and how many characters are there in this string? Python, 6 characters. So the length should be, got it? Yes. The next function we shall look into is the range function. We have already looked into this earlier, but now we shall look into this once again. So range is a function that returns an object called as a range object, right? So now what this object does, this function does, is return a range object that contains values or numbers from the given starting and ending points. All right, so I want 1 to 100 numbers at a step of 5, 4. All right, now what will this return? A range object. Check that out. This representation is nothing but the interpreter is telling that range object has been created. Now how to use this range object? For I in range of this, print I. Now what it should print? 1 plus 4 5 plus 4 9 and so on until 97. Got it? Yes, this is about the range function. Now let's look into one more interesting function. Now let us say we have our string variable Python. We don't even have to actually create this variable, but still let's do it. Okay, so now Python is the is a string that has 6 characters in it, right? Now I want to associate one number to each character. In this situation, let us say the index of each character. Okay, so how I can do that is enumerate. As the name itself suggests, it does nothing but it will make another collection of data that has a number, comma, a character. Again a number, comma, again a character. All right. Just like range object, this will also create a enumerate object. So now how to read the data from this enumerate object? Just like we did with range. For I in enumerate, print I. It will print 0 comma p, 1 comma y and so on. Yep, got it. Now we have something called as a round function. All right, round is a function, is a mathematical function that is used to round the value of a float, right? For example, I say round of 3.8, let us say. How much this should give? When you are rounding off, what do? You just check to which value it is closer. Since 3.8 is closer to 4, it will return 4. Now the same 3.4, it should return 3. Alright. Yes, there is one more interesting function that we shall look about. It's called as reversed function. Okay, this reversed function also takes in a collection of data, reverses it, and gives it to us for our use. Okay, again, this reversed function produces a reversed object. So now what we have to do, again, just as earlier, for I in reversed, print I. Now this Python will be printed starting from NOHTYP. Yep. So among those tens of built-in functions that Python provided us with, we have looked into a few of them. All right, and now since we have also learned about the dir directory function and the help functions, I would suggest you to explore more about the remaining functions that we have here. Okay, and as and when you have any kinds of doubts, you can always post your doubts as comments in the comment section below. All right, so yeah, we are done with all the functions. Thank you.